We are diving deep into one of Earth's very last unexplored frontiers. A team of scientists just took on a mission hundreds of feet below the Pacific, and honestly, what they came back with is changing everything we thought we knew about life on this planet. It's funny, we actually know more about the surface of the moon than we do about the deepest parts of our own oceans. It's just so incredibly hard to get to. So, what's really down there, hiding in that perpetual dusk? What mysteries are just waiting to be discovered? All right, so let's set the scene. For this incredible mission, we're heading to the deep reefs off the coast of Guam, and we're dropping right into a place known as the Twilight Zone. Okay, so picture this. You're so deep underwater that even when the sun is directly overhead, everything around you is in this constant, hazy twilight. That's the mesophotic zone. The water pressure down there is so intense, so dangerous for humans, that you can't just strap on a scuba tank to go. You need a submarine, a rowboat, or you need to be one of the most elite scientific divers on the entire planet. So why go through all that risk? What was the big prize? Well, the mission was basically a recovery operation for a kind of scientific time capsule. These little monitoring devices, think of them as tiny underwater research stations, have been sitting on these deep reefs for almost a decade, just silently gathering data. Priceless data. Now, you might think getting down there is the hard part, but nope. The real challenge, the part that really takes your breath away when you think about it, is the journey back up. It is a dangerously slow, nerve-wracking process. And this, right here, this really puts it all into perspective. This is not your average vacation scuba dive. Not even close. Most recreational divers, they might go to about 130 feet, breathing regular compressed air. These scientists, they're going down to 500 feet, breathing a special cocktail of helium and air just to survive. And the trip back up, well, it's an absolute marathon of endurance. The whole procedure is incredibly precise. Once they're down there, they're on a clock. They get less than 30 minutes to do all their work. Then they start the long journey up, and they have to stop every 10 feet to decompress. If they come up too fast, they get the bends, which is where gas bubbles literally form in your blood. It's agonizing, and it can be fatal. Just let that sink in for a second. That's from Luis Rocha, one of the divers. 10 minutes of work at the bottom means a 6-hour crawl back to the surface. It just shows you the insane level of commitment and the razor-thin margin for error these explorers are dealing with. So, after all that risk, all that time, was it worth it? Oh, you better believe it. What they found when they finally got those monitors back to the lab was an absolute biological treasure trove. Okay, get ready for some numbers. After just 2 weeks of looking through what the monitors collected, bam! 2,000 individual specimens. That is an unbelievable amount of life packed into these tiny little collection areas. But wait, it gets even better. Out of all those specimens, they identified 100 species that nobody had ever seen in the waters around Guam before. Just like that, the known map of life in that region got a whole lot bigger. Okay, but here's the kicker. The number that really makes a scientist's heart race. Among all of those finds, there are at least 20 creatures that are potentially brand new to science, totally unknown. I mean, this is what exploration is all about, right? Discovering the unknown. So what they find? Get a load of this stuff. We're talking about a possible new kind of cardinal fish, this beautiful sea slug covered in yellow and pink specks, and a super vibrant orange-clawed crab. These are animals that, until now, no human had ever officially identified. How cool is that? And this one's my favorite, and one of the lead scientists, Luis Rocha, pointed it out too. It's a hermit crab. Now think about it. Every hermit crab you've ever seen lives in a swirly, snail-type shell, right? Well, this little guy is different. It uses clamshells. It's a perfect example of how life finds a way, adapting in these incredible, hidden corners of our world. But this story isn't all just amazing new creatures and scientific high fives. The Twilight Zone also sent back a message, a pretty sobering one, actually. Even in one of the most remote, untouched places on Earth, our fingerprints are already there. This quote from Luis Rocha it just hits you in the gut. Can you imagine that? You're the first human being to ever lay eyes on this pristine, alien world, and you find garbage. It's like landing on another planet and finding a plastic bag. It's a huge wake-up call about how far our impact really goes. The threats themselves are probably what you'd guess, but it's where they're finding them that's so stunning. Research is showing that plastic trash, especially from the fishing industry, actually gets more concentrated the deeper you go. It peaks right here, in the Twilight zone. You'd think it would get cleaner, but it's the opposite. And this right here might be the most alarming discovery of all. For a long time, the hope was that these deep reefs could be a safe haven, a refuge from the warming waters at the surface. But the very first bits of data coming back suggest that's not true. Even these deep, dark waters are starting to heat up, and that could be catastrophic for these one-of-a-kind ecosystems. So where does that leave us? Well, this mission to Guam, as mind-blowing as it was, is really just the first chapter. The quest to truly understand the Twilight Zone is, believe it or not, just getting started. The team is now gearing up for a massive 2-year journey to go back and get all 76 of these monitors from reefs all across the Pacific Ocean. The ultimate goal is to stitch together the very first complete, detailed picture of this mysterious world, and hopefully figure out how we can protect it before it's too late. Which really brings us to the biggest question of all, doesn't it? We are living in a golden age of discovery. We are literally the first generation of humans to ever see these hidden worlds. The challenge now, for all of us, is to make sure we aren't also the last.